Good evening. The June 11th meeting of the Long Beach City Council is now called to order. Tonight's meeting is being conducted via teleconference. We thank you for your understanding. We'll do our usual roll call, council. When I call your name, would you please affirm your presence? Ed Moore, District 1.
Here.
Otis Noddy, District 2.
Here.
Ray Wade, District 3.
Here.
Chris Nishihara, District 4.
Here.
David Wright, District 5.
Here.
T. Pirtle, District 6.
Here.
And city staff, City Manager Keith Bonds.
Here.
City Attorney Jim Finley.
Here.
City Secretary Angie Shepard.
Here.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. We have reached the citizen comment portion of our meeting. Those wishing to participate in citizen comments tonight were invited to access this meeting through a link to register with the teleconferencing application. Sean Hare, the city's media and tourism manager, will moderate the citizen comment portion of our meeting. When you're called to speak, you'll be unmuted and given one opportunity to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Please begin by stating your name and address for public record. Sean, do we have any residents who want to speak to us tonight?
We don't have anyone who has yet raised their hand, but we do have several people that have joined the meeting. So I want to give a chance for them to be able to raise their hand. And you can do that by clicking the little hand icon. I do have one that has raised their hand now, and that is Caitlin, I believe that's Conche. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute her mic now for her 3 minutes. Looks like there you go, Caitlin.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I am Caitlin Conche. I live at 113 Claudia Circle, zip code 75605. And I was just commenting really to make a plea to the Parks Department to ask you guys to bring back the family pass for the Longview Swim Center. I know that you're running at a limited capacity, which maybe we would be turned away, but as a family of 8, that's definitely something we would be willing to risk because we can maybe go 6, 7 times, depending on if my husband comes or not, throughout the entire summer, compared to going basically whenever we wanted and risking getting turned away for that same price. So I know that there are several families in the same situation, which we just would really love for you guys to bring back the family pass so that families can swim at the swim center more frequently.
Caitlin, thank you for your comments and thank you for the way that you approach this situation. We'll have our Parks Director, Scott Karen, look into this for you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have no other speakers, do we, Sean? Sean, do we have any other speakers?
Sorry about that. We don't have anyone else who has raised their hand. We have several others that are logged on, but again, they've not raised their hand, so I think you can move forward.
Okay, we'll now feature consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be considered together unless there's any item council members wish to pull off for separate discussion. Please indicate now if that is the case. There, we'll move to a vote. I'll now entertain a motion.
Ed Moore, move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
David Wright, seconded. We have a first and a second. We'll now conduct a roll call vote. Please vote by saying yes or no. Ed Moore, District 1.
Yes.
Otis Noddy, District 2.
Yes.
Ray Wade, District 3. Chris Nishihara, District 4.
Yes.
David Wright, District 5.
Yes.
T. Pirtle, District 6.
Yes.
And I, Andy Mack, Mayor, vote yes. Ms. Shepard, will you please record the vote?
Yes, sir. Motion was made by Ed Moore, seconded by Dave Wright. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. We're now to zoning. We have zoning item A, a public hearing will be held to consider application Z20-05 filed by Hudson Johnson requesting a rezone from agricultural to planned development, general retail to single family zoning district for approximately 39.556 acres. The item will be presented by Ms. Choi.
Thank you, Mayor Mack, members of council, and Mr. Bonds. The applicant is requesting a rezone from agriculture and planned development general retail to single family 4 to create a neighborhood for single family homes. A portion of this property is actually already zoned SF4. This portion is located directly south of the request and has frontage along Spring Hill Road. The subject property was annexed in 1980, and when annexation occurs, the property is automatically assigned an agricultural designation. In 1983, there was a rezone request for general retail, multifamily, and single family to develop this area prior to the George Ritchie expansion. A part of this request, where the school, Spring Hill School, that's directly adjacent to it, actually purchased some of this original property and built their school there. Staff does find that the proposed zoning change is consistent with the future land use map and surrounding uses. Staff, along with the Planning and Zoning Commission, recommends approval of this request, and I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
This does require a public hearing, which is now open. Is there anyone that'd like to speak on this item?
There is no one right now who has raised their hand. I do believe the applicant is here, but it doesn't look like they are needing to speak at this time.
Well, Mr. Hudson Johnson's here for questions. If we have any, Hudson Johnson, by the way, congratulations on your engagement. I'm very proud of you, young man. If there is no comments, then the public hearing is not closed. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
David Wright, move to approve. Is there a second?
Second from Kristen.
Very good. We will have a motion and a second. I will have a roll call vote. You can say yes or no. Edmore, District 1.
Yes.
Nona Snoddy, District 2.
Yes.
Ray Wade, District 3.
Yes.
Chris Nishihara, District 4.
Yes.
David Wright, District 5.
Yes.
Steve Pirtle, District 6.
Yes.
And I'm Mayor Andy Mack, vote yes. Mr. Secretary, would you please record the vote?
Yes, motion was made by David Wright, seconded by Krista Nishihara. Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you so much. On to zoning item B, a public hearing will be held to consider application HL 20-01 filed by Alan Robertson with Sloan Firm, requesting a local historic landmark designation for a structure known as the Whaley House located on 101 East Whaley Street. Ms. Choi.
Thank you. The applicant is requesting a local historic landmark designation for the Whaley House. This will be Longview's 9th local landmark if approved. The building is located in the Longview downtown and is addressed as 101 East Whaley Street. It was originally constructed as a residence for Franklin Lucilius Whaley, also known as F.L. Whaley, in 1871. Mr. Whaley and his wife were founding members of First Baptist Church of Longview. He was a hardware merchant and was later elected mayor of Longview in 1891. Whaley Street, which runs through downtown, is named after Mr. Whaley. And according to local legend, the Whaley House was the 4th house to be built in the newly platted town of Longview. Prior to completion of the Gregg County Courthouse in 1876, Mr. Whaley held Gregg County's first court in the 2nd story of his hardware store, where it continued to convene until the courthouse was completed. It is believed that the Whaley House is currently one of the oldest standing structures in Longview. The building was occupied by the Whaley family until 1979, when it was purchased and used as a law office, and has continued to function as a law office since then. This property was surveyed as part of the 2016 Historic Resource Survey and was listed as high priority in the survey and is eligible for individual listing as well as being a contributing structure to our downtown. Local landmarks must meet one of the following criteria listed in the zoning ordinance, and the Whaley House meets several of these criteria. The Whaley House is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places and is designated as a recorded Texas Historic Landmark. Due to all of these factors, staff, Historic Preservation Commission, along with the Planning and Zoning Commission, recommends that the structure be designated as a local historic landmark. I would be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Choi. This requires a public hearing, which is now open. Anyone like to speak on this issue?
Ray Wade, please.
Yes, Mr. Wade.
So will it continue to be used as a law office, considering the designation, Ms. Choi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. If not any other questions, I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Oh,
Second
excuse me,
from
excuse me. I have to close the public hearing, which is now closed. Now can we have that motion, Mr. Wade?
I move to approve that we accept this.
Second.
Is there a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. I will now have a roll call vote. Mr. Moore, District 1.
Yes.
Ms. Snoddy, District 2.
Yes.
Mr. Wade, District 3.
Yes.
Mr. Shahar, District 4,
Yes.
Mr. Wright, District 5,
Yes.
Mr. Purtle, District 6.
Yes.
And I'm Mayor Andy Mack, vote yes. Ms. Secretary, will you please confirm the record of the vote?
Yes, sir. Motion was made by Ray Wade, seconded by Kristen Nishihara. Ordinance passes 7-0.
And I just add, what a wonderful addition it is to our historic landmarks in town. What a great story the Whaleys have and the legacy for our community. So thank you all for those that brought this forward and those that allowed this to happen. We'll now move to action item A. Consider a resolution authorizing and directing the city manager or city manager designee to execute any necessary documents for the acceptance of a donation in the amount of $50,000 from Juicy's Hamburger, Juicy's Tacos, and T. Blanca's Restaurant for a fireworks show at the July 4th Fireworks and Freedom Celebration. Ms. Hill.
Laura is online. I don't see that, and she is unmuted, but it doesn't look like we're able to get her audio at the moment.
Okay. Well, I guess, Mr. Finley, can I speak on this and we move forward? Or do we have to let Ms. Hill do this?
No, you can, you can, Mayor.
Okay, then let's just, if Miss Laura's mic works at any point in time, please interrupt me, Miss Laura. Please don't hesitate. This is a donation in the amount of $50,000 from Juicy's T. Blancos and Juicy's Tacos, given by the owners of those restaurants. They approached me after the announcement that our Freedom and Fireworks celebration would be canceled this year due to our budget constraints. And they were so gracious to step forward and realize it would still be a wonderful event to have. And I can't thank them enough. The Maxey family is always there for our community, and we appreciate this donation to allow us to go ahead and have our celebration. So all I can say is thank you to the Maxey family and the Juicy's family for this donation. And I know it'll be put to good use, and I know that our residents will really appreciate this. It'll be Saturday, July the 4th at 9:30 p.m. The gates will open at 7 p.m. at the Longview Convention Complex. It'll be obviously a drive-up celebration. We won't be able to get out and mingle. We're going to social distance and do the things that we're supposed to do. It'll be streamed live via Facebook. Food trucks and portable toilets will be available. And it will be a great celebration. I am so thankful that the citizens of Longview and the Maxium family and the Juicy owners have stepped up to once again bring Longview where we want to be and be generous and thankful and happy. And we're just grateful to this family. So, Council, have any comments on this?
Amazing.
Agreed. Ms. Hill, I hope I didn't kill that in a bad way, but I appreciate you putting the graphics up for me anyway.
You did great. Thank you, Mayor.
If you're on, you're welcome to speak, Ms. Laura. Please speak.
Please approve. That's all.
Okay. So does council have any other questions or comments? If not, we could have a motion.
Ed Moore, move to approve.
Nona Snoddy, second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll now take a roll call vote. Mr. Moore, District 1.
Yes.
Ms. Snoddy, District 2.
Yes.
Mr. Wade, District 3.
Yes.
Mr. Shahar, District 4.
Yes.
Mr. Wright, District 5.
Yes.
Purtle, District 6.
Yes.
And I'm Mayor Andy Mack, vote yes. Ms. Secretary, will you please confirm the record of the vote?
Yes, sir. Motion was made by Ed Moore, seconded by Nona Stotty. Resolution passes 7-0.
Again, thank you for that wonderful donation to our community. We'll now have action item B, in an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2019-2020 donated revenue budget, the amount of $50,000 for the provision of professionally produced fireworks show. Related costs as part of the July 4th Fireworks and Freedom Celebration. Ms. Hill.
Thank you, Mayor Mack and members of council and Mr. Bonds. This is to officially allow us to amend the budget to accept the $50,000 and then to spend it on our fireworks show and our fireworks and freedom celebration. And I do recommend approval.
Thank you so much. Council have any questions? If not, can I entertain a motion?
Move to approve.
Second from Kristen.
Nona's motion to approve and Kristen seconded. I will have a roll call vote. Ed Moore, District 1.
Yes.
Nona Snoddy, District 2.
Yes.
Ray Wade, District 3.
Yes.
Kristen Shahar, District 4.
Yes.
David Wright, District 5.
Yes.
Steve Purtle, District 6.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm Andy Mack, vote yes. Ms. Secretary, would you confirm the record of the vote?
Yes, sir. Motion was made by Nona Stati, seconded by Christian Ishihara, and the ordinance passes 7-0.
So much, Council, and for those involved in this, making this come to fruition. We're now to our update on COVID-19. Before I get into that COVID-19 update, I would like to give council members a chance to make any announcements they would like to have. I haven't done this since we've been meeting like this, but I want to just make sure I haven't left anyone out and I'm not allowed you to speak when you need to. Mr. Moore, any comments?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Ms. Snoddy?
Good evening, everyone. I just want everyone to just be mindful with the state of our country, that we are in prayer for those that believe that we're constantly in prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Snoddy. Mr. Wade?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to announce that June 20th, City of Longview will have, and I'm sorry there's no display, but we will have a Juneteenth parade and celebration at Broughton Park, and also kind of recognizing what's going on in our country right now. The death of George Floyd, which has affected us here locally and nationally in so many ways. We are also conducting a solidarity march that will start at 8:30 a.m. on that day. I am inviting everyone out to take part in it, and also to take part in Juneteenth, which is a really monumental event for African Americans throughout the country, but mainly here in the state of Texas. And we feel Longview is the pride of that celebration. So I invite everyone listening, council, city members, to all take part in it, and all of the city staff, the Parks Department, Mr. Karen and his office, Mr. Bonds, and all the work that he's done to make sure that this will happen. Mayor, your contributions as well. It's not going unnoticed, and I thank you all very much for that.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Ms. Ishihara?
Nothing from me.
Mr. Wright?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Purtle?
Nothing for me.
And Mr. Bonds?
I don't have anything.
Very good. Let me bring you up to date on things that are going on around here. On June the 3rd, Governor Abbott released new guidelines for phase 3 of opening Texas. Accordingly, many businesses and restaurants and activities have reopened, but with precautions in place. As a city, most of our offices and services have reopened. However, some services and activities still have restrictions. The Longview Public Library has reopened with 50% capacity, but many of their in-person events and activities have shifted to virtual. Broughton Rec Center and Palomar and Jones Rec Centers have reopened, but Green Street Rec Centers, which is our senior recreation center, remains closed. The Longview Swim Center opened June the 6th, and Ingram Pool will open June the 25th. The splash pads at Spring Hill Park, Broughton Park, and Stamford Park opened on June the 10th. The Jack Mann Splash Pad will open June the 18th with capacity limitations and a modified schedule. And those are all good news. I'm glad to see things opening back up as we can, but we still have to be cautious in how we proceed. We need to enjoy ourselves, but be cautious. We haven't held a city council meeting in person at City Hall since Thursday, March the 12th. However, we are making plans to return to City Council chambers for our next meeting on Thursday the 25th, if all goes well. We have arranged seating on the dais to allow social distancing between city council members and staff. We'll also have limited audience seating within the chambers. We will have overflow capacity in the lobbies. Even as we're reopening, we each need to take personal responsibility for our own actions so we can continue to keep ourselves and neighbors safe. Sadly, over the past 2 weeks, we have continued to see additional coronavirus cases and deaths in the community. Let's be sure to keep the affected families in our thoughts and prayers, and let's all do our part. As an update, as of today, we had no new positive cases in Longview today, which is always a welcome sign. When I don't get 5 or 6 texts from Chief Steelman on a daily basis talking about our positives that we've had in the day, it's a good day for all of us. So to date, we have 237 positive cases. We have 64 recovered cases and 11 deaths. Let me just take a moment to explain to the community, because I get a lot of questions about this. The positives are recorded through a test. The only way a test can be positive is if the patient has the test that has administered and taken through a lab. The recoveries are a different thing. In order to be shown as a recovered case, they have to take another test and have to come back negative. The reason there's such a discrepancy between the positives and the recovered is not everyone returns for that negative test to see if they're negative. And I understand it. I wish everyone would return, but they don't. And so it's not unusual for our recoveries to lag behind the positives. So a lot of those 237 positives have obviously recovered, but we don't have the capacity or the capability to make people come back for the second test to see if they've recovered. I'm certain that they feel better. They go back to work, and they don't want the time or the money to come back and have another test done. Besides, they're not comfortable to do. They stick that nasal swab pretty much into your brain to get that tested. And so it's a very uncomfortable thing to do. But I just want the public to know that's a lot of the reason why our recoveries are not, the numbers aren't as high as the positives. I'm sure most of those people have recovered because we've only recorded 11 deaths out of the 237 positives. We do have some things going on through our fire department. We've had walk-up testing being done the last few days. 60 people were tested at today's mobile testing site at St. Andrews. 88 people were tested at Tuesday's mobile testing site at Foster Middle School. We'll have walk-up testing scheduled for tomorrow at the Community Connections and Saturday at Broughton Rec from 9 to 5 each day. And I just want to take a minute to thank our fire department, our EMS, who are working in some of the most undesirable conditions possible on a daily basis to be out there doing these tests, risking themselves and their families every single day. And we don't seem to take that into account, and we should, because it's a job it is thankless. But I'm sitting here telling you all tonight, thank you. Thank you for your service, for your sacrifice, for the risk that you take every single day to take care of our city. It does not go unnoticed by this office or by this council, I guarantee you, and by the citizens of Longview. So I want to just make you aware of that. We appreciate the efforts that you all put in. We need to keep being diligent, Longview. We have not flattened this curve enough yet. The numbers continue to rise, but we will win this. We just need to continue to be vigilant in our social distancing. When you can, wear masks, wash your hands, stay apart, stay home. But we have to get on with life, but do it in the safest possible way for you and your neighbors. And I think we'll all get through this. So I want to thank you all for all that you are doing, the patience you're giving us, the latitude we have to do the work we need to do in this community and do it the right way. And I look forward to the weeks ahead when we continue to break great strides to our community and we all get to a better place. So thank you all, and God bless you all. We are now adjourned.
Muted.